Morning, y'all. Right, we still have Milo off school. Mrs. Barfield not feeling great either. Me, Fanula and Orla. There's 3 of us up, 2 of us down, basically. What an amazing audience. You lot down there. Unbelievable. Overnight, so we're up to £5,254. Honestly, I'm blown away by you guys and girls. Just amazing. So if you want a chance of winning my Mizuno MP5 irons, there'll be a link in the description down below. Only give what you can afford. The generosity at the minute is just, I can't believe how generous you're all being. It's 5 to pitch and wedge. No idea who the 6 sign is, but it's going to go with the set. If you want to win that set, the clubs I've used for the last year or 2 years, whatever it is, hit that link down below. One of you donators will be winning that set. Right, today's vlog. I'm very overexcited about my custom build Scotty Cameron that's coming. So we're going to dedicate today's vlog to putting. I'm going to share with you some of the best practices, some of the best ways to practice, and kind of what you're trying to achieve when you're practicing and when you're hitting putts. Let's get more people putting better. Look, I understand the importance of 200-yard shots and around the area and distance, that kind of thing, absolutely. But you still have to hold putts. Let's not forget that putting is still a massive part of this game. And my experience in coaching over the last 20 years is there's a lot of poor putters out there in the amateur game. There are strokes to be won back. Let's see if we can do that today. Right, the skills needed for good putting, and it's kind of a bit in this order. You need to be able to read the green. You then need to be able to start the ball on the line that you've read, and then obviously the pace needs to be correct. They're the 3 things. You get them going, you got a good feel for them, you're going to hold putts. And if you don't, you're not going to hold enough. So when it comes to reading greens, you've got things like Aim Point Express. So it's using a scientifically proven theory of trying to read the greens. Obviously there's still going to be an element of guesswork, because obviously the skill of the game has to prevail. So you've got to judge things through your feet, so slope through your feet. Then you've got to judge stimp by kind of distances you move your finger away, so there will be variables on it. But I'll be honest with you, I've seen people who have no idea how to read the green go to aim point lessons and get a lot from it. So it's something worth doing even if you don't end up using it, because you'll see the guys in our videos. So Buzzer, Matt, I think Picard used it as well for a while. I don't know if they still are, but I know Matt is in and out of it. He uses it sometimes. Sophie still uses it, but not all the time it seems on the videos. Because there is always going to be that element of guess. When it comes to reading the greens, the biggest problem I see with conversations with amateurs in pro-ams over years and with students is they never seem to want to work, and never's not fair because some do, but lots, they're never working, said it again, never, but lots of time they're not working pacing, because obviously the amount of break it takes is going to be subject to how hard or soft you hit it. So they say, is the line there? And I think, well, it depends. Are you going to try and hit this one like dead weight? Are you going to try and go for it and go 4 foot past? Because it won't be in the same spot. It's a great way to get on a putting green and work out how to read them a bit more. Play with your ideas of slope, literally get out there and practice reading the green, hitting it on that direction, that kind of start point if you like, and seeing if you can get the pace to drop the ball in the hole. The other thing I do with students is I try to get them, like you saw me do there, with 1 putt, I try and get it in the hole on 2 different lines, so working pace around their starting point. Because it's so important, I'm going to hit different putts at different times of my life, subject to pars, birdies, need 2 putts, need to hole it at different paces, so I need to be able to adjust, dynamic, got to be robust with your aim. I do not like the colour of that sky. Right, it's started to pour down. I've got some reviews to do, so I'm heading to Coach Lockie's house. Just going to try and mix it up a little bit today. Right, we are at Coach Lockie's.
Hello.
We're talking putting today, Coach.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Putting goal.
So you use this a lot.
I do.
And this is your normal standard putt along the hallway.
Yeah.
Now, before you hit this putt, always hit it.
Sorry.
That's all right. Is there a break in it?
Slightly right to left.
So there you go. That's an interesting point straight away. So you're testing your start direction in a sense then, aren't you?
Yep.
Because you're not just trying to hit it at the target, you're trying to start it.
Yeah, I want to get it in.
In a direction, yeah, absolutely. So even though that sounds so blatantly obvious, it's a skill that you need to be practicing. Matt, I'm sure, will hit this putt, and as soon as it leaves the face within a couple of feet, I'm guessing you're going to know
if it's right or wrong, yeah.
Subject to pace and your understanding of start direction and brakes.
Yeah, you can pretty much call it as soon as you hit it.
Yeah, certainly on a carpet where there's consistencies generally.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to pace, you don't get many better training aids that train for pace, because obviously to get it in there from your distance is close to impossible.
Yeah, it takes a while.
And obviously you can use how much up and down you get if you are hitting it the right pace or not.
Yep.
And also I would use obviously the back wall a bit as well as a judgment of how hard I'm hitting that back wall or not. So when you do your putting in here, we've established you're practicing start direction.
Yep.
You're obviously practicing pace as well. I mean, these things sound so obvious, don't they?
Yeah.
But they're like, you're monitoring each one, I guess.
Yeah, every one that I hit, I'm pretty much adjusting to whatever's happened to the previous one and learning from it all the time, taking information in, trying to get that in the perfect putt hole, basically.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do with the rest of this vlog today, we've established reading the greens important, we've established that start direction is important, and obviously pace ties into all of those. I'm going to maybe give you some of my best drills that I would do when the weather is as rubbish as it is now, and what you could do out on the green to make sure you're holding more putts.
Too hard.
And right. Interesting, so he's called it straight away.
Too hard. One more go then. Lovely. Oh, it broke the other way.
Oh, that's probably my footprint.
Yeah.
I think I'm affecting like the whole climate in your perfectly controlled environment. Right, that was a lot of fun. If you haven't already watched the wedge reviews before this one on the channel, go and watch it. It's a lot of fun, as well as some serious points. Let's get back home. Let's show you some good drills, shall we? Right, first idea, stroke drill, and lots of people won't see this as a drill, but I want you to start thinking about your golf swing and certainly your putting more in this fashion. Anyone who watches my timelines or certainly watches yesterday's daily vlog, I'm waiting for a new putter to come. I've got a custom built Scotty Cameron, and it's got a different lie angle to this, because lie angle, how the club sits on the ground, or even how I decide how I sit it on the ground. If we think of the late great Sev, he used to putt with the toe end of his club up in the air, so he would ignore this lie angle and make it his own. Can have a massive effect on confidence. For me, it has an effect on short putts and long putts. So the shorter the putts get, sometimes I feel, oh, I've just missed all three of them. More comfortable with a more upright stance and putter, but then sometimes when I've got long putts, when I have it more upright, so not as flat, I tend to leave it a bit out to the right, don't feel like I can always get the pace. So if I take my putter for instance here, the one I'm gaming at the moment, I tend to start with the toe a little bit up in the air. If I just raise my hands up a little higher, so I'm not changing my position over the ball, does that make it feel like it's easier to control the face? Control that face in relationship to path and in relationship to distance struck. If I take that one test, 2 out of 3, and it did feel easier to control the face in relationship to a straighter path. Because for me, the more I get that club out in front of me or my hands low, I can still be over the ball, the more I feel like I'm going to be more rounded. The more upright I get, the more I feel I'm going to be straight to straight. Depending on my confidence levels, the more rounded stroke at the moment feels a little bit like I just can't control it. Where the more straight to straight stroke from the more upright position, like I say, at the moment feels a little better, hence I'm going to change my putter. So you need to be able to start experimenting these ways, really trying to feel what changes it for you, what shifts the needle for you. And this doesn't mean it's the answer, because I'll have a period of standing with it more upright, and then having it more toed up will then start to feel more natural, possibly, because through my life of golf I've kind of tried them all and had success with all of them. It's about finding what works for you at a moment in time. Not enough golfers are doing this. First thing, I want you to practice. Go and practice it now. Lie of the club. Are you having it flat on the floor, slightly heel up, toe up? I find as a general rule with students, slightly toe up is a very reoccurring pattern. You don't particularly have to move closer to the ball. You can literally just raise your hands up a bit and change the way you stroke that putt, and hopefully find some kind of feeling that helps you hold a few more. Next idea, there are lines everywhere indoors, pouring down outside, horrible. Practicing your putting can still happen. So I can use the line of my kitchen with the line of my putter to get an idea of how my stroke is moving backwards and forwards. I can look at how much rotation I've got in my face of my putter, which I want. I want that black line just pointing right of the line on the bottom and then left, because the putter face does have a certain amount of rotation, ideally, but not for everyone. It's about equal amount each side. I can use one of the tiles that luckily for me fits the head size of my putter and try and move it back and forth kind of within with a slight curve. And then the other big thing is I can change again the lie, so move my hands up, move my hands down, to feel if that is easier or harder to control in relationship to these straight lines. Then I can work that practice into start direction. Remember, start direction is a key around pace and reading the green. So I'm going to now practice different lies. So different hand positions, hands more upright, hands more flat. I've got my putt out in front of me. You could use anything, a coin or anything to get the ball rolling over. And I'm going to see at different paces hit which way is easier for me to get that ball starting on direction, which is there, right up the middle of that ramp. That time it was the lower handle. Again, lower handle feels quite controllable at that pace. That's like, feels like a 20-foot putt pace. And there's higher handle, that was right up the middle. And for me, out of the two, at the moment, oh, a little bit left on the higher handle there. Getting good. It's about testing, retesting, building a feel. That's what putting's about. You've got to build a feel, something that you can repeat, different speeds. So for different length putts that could start the ball on the direction I want it to start every time. Don't be afraid to play with your technique. It can have a massive difference. And often when students come to me for putting lessons, that's where we start. If you looked at those two putts, I played them from very different ball positions. First putt I hit from my traditional ball position is way outside or on my left toe. Second one I played it from a little bit more opposite, kind of just forward of the middle of my body. Playing, experimenting, practicing, drilling ideas of ball position and how that changes your stroke, to strike, to start direction control, to distance control. It's something amateurs never do. I never see them playing with. And it's something for me where I'm looking for answers. It's one of the first places I'm going and seeing definite differences on strike and on club paths. If I'm going to hit a putt this way, and let's say my stroke always has some element of curve to it, where I put this ball on this curve in relationship to where my feet are stood is going to have a massive influence on club path, face the path. Now I traditionally have this forward stance, so I'm catching it when I've measured more out the toe as a general rule, because I'm starting to move leftward and my path is always going left. I'm not putting that great. I'm looking for answers. I'm going to try hitting it in a different part of the face, more consistently out the middle, try and get some better distance control, while at the same time moving path a little bit more towards target. Now if you think about that, that's a massive change, but all I'm doing is moving ball position around for me. For you, you need to experiment with the same ideas. Do you, from a short distance, start the ball more on target when the ball is just forward of centre. Bear in mind I still want to be hitting this putt on the upstroke, or do you putt better when it's way forward? Because there's so many other parameters that will be in there from your stance to your grip. You've got to experiment and find which one works for you. And if you can, go and have a lesson. Go and get measured on something like Sam Putlab, which will tell you all these things. Things I've seen over the years that I've always thought if I do struggle with my putting, that's where I'll look to make improvements. You'll be amazed how many students I've helped over the years with a simple ball position change. There we go, a few ideas around putting and just playing with your kind of technique really while doing the drills. It's the whole package for me. Thanks for watching as always. Your generosity is ridiculous. If you've already donated, thank you. If you're thinking of donating, you can win these between now and next Tuesday. One of those donators, link down below, all for my dad's charity. He's captain of the golf club, if anyone hasn't noticed. He's got a captain's charity, Children's Hospice Southwest. They do amazing work. Thank you for everyone. If you're going to donate, thank you. If you can't donate, don't worry, but thanks for watching. You could win these. The irons I played with, Mizuno MP5s for the last year or 2 years. Someone else's 6 iron, but I hit it, and it's a pitching wedge to 5 iron set. Tonight is paella night. Post comments as always down below if these ideas help you or not, or there's other things you want to see in the putting arena video. Let me know if it's something I think is worth covering or a good idea. I'll definitely try and cover it. It's raining, it's horrible. These are great times to work on your putting right now. Remember, let's smash that record down there. 10 grand, come on. I reckon we can get it on this prize. There's gonna be loads more prizes through the year. I've got all my old clubs to give away, the ones I've used, and I've got some other cool things, including some face balls for some lucky people. See you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.